So you have when a CMO for companies, and obviously some of it is fractional and some of it is it just depends on what they need. Obviously, you probably work for multiple companies at two different
Yeah.
times. Like, how do you keep? And it looks like you don't have a huge staff, so that's not one that you don't have to manage
No.
tons of people.
Right.
It's all
Right.
you as an individual. So there's some efficiencies there for sure. But how do you manage that if you have two or three gigs and obviously you're only one person? How does that work for you when it comes to managing those types of projects?
Yeah. So this is the point where I get to tell you about how I've discovered through quantum physics how to be in two places at once.
Nice. This is what I was. This is what I'm telling people. This is the reason why I wanted to interview. I knew that you were going to come with something that was
Just
just going to blow away.
newly announced on Shane Barker's
This is it. This
podcast,
is it.
the quantum physics
First year.
discovery, how CMOs can be in two places at once.
I can make double the income for with one person. That's why not,
Absolutely.
right?
No, it really, I wish I could take credit for that, but it's not rocket science. I mean, having a consulting background, especially from major consulting. I mean, anyone who's been a partner or at that senior executive level within a consulting firm knows you work on billable hours, and
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a matter of keeping track of where the billable hours. Do I sometimes put myself out there for more hours than there actually are in a day? Well, sometimes, because literally from my home office and from wherever, like I am right now, I'm the green screen behind me. I can look like I'm working from anywhere, and the internet never shuts down.
Yeah.
It's 7 by 24. So really, I'm blessed from the perspective that I just take on the projects that I feel passionate about and really want to work on, and the ones that I think, oh no, that's going to be, their expectations are not even close, and I'm not even going to try and convince them to do it a different way. Yeah, I pass on those. So I'm taking the projects that I'm really passionate about and like, and then I will figure out how to bend the hours and put in what I need in order to deliver what I said I would help them get.
So that's what's interesting. I think that I've been doing in the digital space for 20 years. I think I've seen that transition for my company of exactly what you touched on, is where I don't. When I first started, I would take on any client. Like, if you had $1 and you had an
Right.
idea, then I'm like, hey, let's take it on. You've got $1 and I need $1. So like I feel like I have some expertise. And now we're very choosy with who we pick to work with, because of we have qualifying stuff that we send people through. And if it looks like, once again, the expectation is crazy, hey, we want to give you $10,000, but we want to make 5 million. And I'm like, oh, well, of course, who wouldn't want to make that, right? So
Right.
we look at the types of things of qualifying questions for us is to see if it's a good fit on their side, but also for our side. And that's, I don't think a lot of people realize that, because they're used to, hey, if I have a budget, then everybody's going to take that on. And for us, we look at it like, well, you have to be a good fit, have to be realistic, and it's important to make sure it's good for both sides. And I think that some people kind of forget that when you first start off, once again, you're taking on anything, you're going to take on the world. But I think as you
Right.
get older, I like to think that I'm a little wiser in when I look at a project, and I kind of see through certain things and go, okay, this is a good fit, or no, this isn't a good fit, and I'll explain to the client why. And then I've had plenty of clients where I've said, hey, you're not a good fit, and they've almost got offended. Like, what do you mean I'm not a good? Like, why am I not a good fit? I'm like, well, it's nothing to take personal. It's just not a good fit for me, which you should appreciate that, because if you're not a good fit and I take you on, that's not going to be good for either one of us, right?
It's really, you're spot on. For me, again, like you said, that the client will come and say, well, you've got 90,000 Twitter followers. We're a new startup, and we need to have 90,000 Twitter followers in the next couple of weeks. Well, it's not going to work that way. Once again, I've been on Twitter since 2006, and this has been a process, and it's a process I work 7 days a week. I mean, it doesn't stop in trying to come up with the content to keep it fresh, and so setting their expectations so that their expectation of what the ROI is going to be is really important to me. I hate to disappoint people. I'd rather shoot myself than disappoint someone. But I also know so what, with the way these platforms work today and everything, what's really possible and what's
Yeah.
not. So setting the right expectations is really important.